What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to shoot a quick video here on a walk, and we're going to talk about something I should have talked to you guys about a while ago, and I've talked about it in pieces, but I don't think I've been 100% honest with you, and shame on me. But I'm sitting right now at about 35 pounds above my lowest weight, and I've been as heavy as 45 pounds above my lowest weight. And the reality is I got down to 189 pounds, felt good, got really complacent, and just started gaining weight again. I had my surgery in December, and that was kind of a catalyst with Christmas and Thanksgiving and all that kind of the food that goes with it, with lack of workouts, and I just skyrocketed, and I haven't been able to kind of recover since then. So what I wanted to do is just take a minute today and talk about really the three main reasons why we struggle with our weight and why most of us are going to go through this journey, and you'll have the ups and downs we have. So I want to hit on the three things first, and then I'll come back at the end and talk about how I'm hoping to overcome some of that. All right, so let's talk about the first one. Look, I didn't get to be 330 pounds because I love eating salad and vegetables, right? I love food, just like most of us do. And you get on a diet, and it works really well for you. And I've had really a lot of success with Weight Watchers. This isn't Weight Watchers' fault. It's 100% mine. But once you get to your goal weight, which I did, you get really complacent, and your diet starts to get bad again, and you start to bring back food. Look, you're gonna eat what you love, and it's okay to do that. It just can't be every day. What I was finding myself was I was bringing candy bars back in almost every day, and having cheeseburgers more than a couple of times a month, or pizza, getting back into more of a regular rotation that it didn't need to be in, right? And so, the first thing I'm gonna tell you is you gotta stick with your diet, and the diet's the most important thing. It's not easy. You got to figure out what works for you. I'm struggling right now with that. I'm going to talk about that in just a little bit on my last part. But, it's, for me, it's, I have to eat less at night. I'm usually pretty good during the day. I'll try to follow a pretty good routine, but then nighttime comes in and I snack, and I can't do it, right? So the first thing I would just tell you is find a diet that works, but then stick to that diet. And I know it sounds so rudimentary, but that's what kicks all of our asses. We lose the weight, we get excited, we get into better shape, we start getting into fitness, or whatever you want to do, however that looks like for you. But then once we get there, we're like, okay, I get back to this old lifestyle. It's funny, our coach at Weight Watchers always talks about this one person she had who was diligent, never cheated on the diet, said, look, I can't wait to get to my goal weight, then I can go back to eating the way I did again, and that person gained all their weight back. I haven't gained all my weight back. Here's the reality. Right now, today, I'm still 90 to 95 pounds lighter than I was at my heaviest. I still feel pretty good. I'm just not happy with how I look and how I present myself to other people right now. I'm going to see people I haven't seen since the pandemic started that I've literally lost 130 pounds and gained back 40. So they're going to see me at, they've never seen me lighter than 255. They're going to see me at 225, which is great, right? I feel good about that. But I would have been so much prouder if I could have them see me at 190, right? Because that's the work I did. And when you work and you earn that, you hate to give it back up. So the first thing we're going to talk about is just find your diet, but you got to stick to it. It can't be a flavor of the month. Otherwise, you're going to run back into what I'm running into, and that you're going to start to gain back the weight. All right, let's talk about part two. Now, part two is activity. For me, that's been the easiest part, although I would tell you, even though I continue to be active, and I've never lost my passion around activity, there's two things that happen with me with activity. One is I thought I could out-exercise my diet, which I couldn't. If I'm eating, 3,500 to 4,000 calories in a day, and I'm burning 2,800 to 2,900 calories in a day, well, that's a calorie, I don't have a calorie deficit that day, right? I've eaten more calories. So now I put myself in a situation where I have to either do more activity or I'm going to start to gain weight. And that's what's happened to me, right? I still have regularly worked out anywhere between 8 to 12 hours a week. At my peak, I was probably doing, 14 to 20 hours a week. And again, sometimes people say that's not realistic. I'll tell you that's bullshit. And I'll tell you why in a second. And the last thing we're going to talk about. But I also found that I've started to cut back on my activity, right? This is my third day in a row getting back up for my morning walk. That was religion for me for 2 years, right? Every single morning I went up and did a walk. And I was doing it through the beginning of the Hard 75 challenge, so I hurt my back. And then for like 2 months, I just stopped doing it. Like, I don't know why. There's no reason. I have time before I work in the morning, as long as I get up early enough to get out and do it. And, it's just, what was I thinking? So the problem you're going to have is, you've always heard this too, is you actually diet to lose weight and you exercise to maintain it. Well, again, not if you get excessive in eating more than you should. You're not going to be able to do enough exercise to offset the weight gain. So that's the second thing I want to talk about. Activity is incredibly important. You need to make it part of your life every day, but understand that if the diet isn't right, the activity can't offset what you're going to do, and that's what you're going to run into. Look, it's crazy. I'm 225, 230 pounds right now. I still finish top 5 on Peloton rides every week. I still can go out and do, 1,000 calorie burn in an hour and multiple different workouts. I ride my bikes all over the place. I walk a ton. I average 12 or 13,000 steps a day, but I was averaging 17,000 steps a day. And instead of top 5, I've had rides I finished number 1 on the Peloton at 190 or 200 pounds. Like, here's the reality. I am not the same level athlete I was even just 5 or 6 months ago, but I'm close enough that it's not that noticeable to anyone besides me. So again, you got to figure out what that activity looks like for you and what do you want to do. And that's going to lead us into the last thing we're going to talk about, and that's mindset. Someone asked me a long time ago, my aunt, I love her, she's been awesome, a really great support mechanism for me, and she said, can you really maintain this lifestyle for a long time? And I said, well, I've done it for like 3 years when it came into the workouts, because I was working out 2 to 3 hours a day, and I had a little bit of the issue with the knee surgery, or the surgery on my leg, a little bit of issue with the bad back, and then all of a sudden, stuff started to get a little sideways for me, and I just kind of fell back into old habits where I wasn't doing the right thing. I wasn't tracking my diet on Weight Watchers, right? The app works perfect as long as you track it, right? I love this episode of Seinfeld where Kramer is watching Jerry's house and Jerry gets robbed. And he goes, man, I bought the best deadbolt lock in the world. It has only one fatal flaw. You have to lock it for it to work. And that's what's going on with me. Weight Watchers works awesome. This is not an indictment of Weight Watchers. I love what they do. Here's the problem. You got to use it to make it work. And I hadn't been doing it. So shame on me because I just haven't been following the plan, right? So when I get back to the mindset conversation, for me, it really and truly is all about, hey, how can I get better at following through every day, right? To me, again, the same thing this morning. I told you I haven't been walking as much in the morning, which I've been doing forever. And I was like, well, why haven't I? And the only reality came down to I was up watching TV at night or watching YouTube or just bullshitting around and not getting to bed early enough. So now I'm like, okay, well, let's get to bed a little earlier. Let's get up a little earlier. I got time. It is spring. You wouldn't know it today by my red nose and my freezing hands, man. It's like 38 degrees out. But you know what? The sun is out. It's springtime. There's no reason really from April to October I can't get out into a walk almost every single day. Even if it's raining, I could try to get out and get some type of a walk, right? So the mindset is incredibly important. I think this is the one where a lot of us fall flat because we just get kind of in our own way a little bit, where things can get challenging or frustrating and we just kind of give up. And I've been there many, many times. And I would just ask is that when you get into that mindset struggle, just slow down and figure out ultimately what you want to try to do. All right, guys, so those are the 3 things we're talking about. This is the reason why you're struggling to lose weight, why I've been struggling to lose weight. It's diet, it's activity, it's mindset. And mindset being the most important of the 3. If your mind isn't right, you're not going to do the right stuff. So here's my ask for all of us. This is what I'm trying to do right now. I've been doing it for a couple days. I'm going to try to stay back after it, but get back to your diet. Even if you're only doing, half of your diet, like don't give up on a day. I loved our philosophy at Weight Watchers when we were learning this probably a year and a half ago. It's if you have a bad day, it doesn't mean you have to have a bad multiple days, but you just have a bad start to the day. So you just eat something bad. You know what? Get back to the end of the day. Find what works for you. I'm going to start fasting after 7 until the morning. So nothing from 7 to 7 is basically my plan. So 12 hours, intermittent fasting, where I just don't eat anything after 7 o'clock at night until 7 in the morning. Activity. Be active, but understand that activity isn't going to get it done alone. And you can't out-exercise a cheeseburger every day. It just doesn't work. And then mindset. Go to bed earlier. Get up earlier. Nothing good happens after midnight, right? It's always been the truth. It just, if you're out there and you're you're up late, you're probably going to start to maybe drink more, you're going to eat more, you're just going to be bored, and you're going to eat out of boredom versus hunger, which is just so tough in the diet realm. That's what gets us in trouble. So, for me, those are the three things. I wanted to share this with you because I think, you've heard me on my videos, and you'll see some weeks on my weekly fitness update I've lost weight. If I haven't told you I've lost weight, I've probably gained weight, and this has just been a yo-yo for literally since probably October of last year. So half a year, I've been going through this real struggle of just trying to find my way back into this journey. And man, it sucks because I was just crushing it for 17 or 18 months. I was just in a really good place where I was just destroying the diet, and I was losing weight consistently or staying at my goal, within 5 or 10 pounds. But then I had the first trip to Disney, and I gained back some weight, and then I got back and I stayed consistent. And then we had our second vacation, right? And I've never really gotten back into the right mindset. I get somewhere and I'm starting to do something, and then all of a sudden it's like, next weekend or this weekend coming up is Easter. We're gonna eat with my mom. We'll have some Easter food and probably some cake or pie, and then we actually have Easter Sunday at our house, right? So eating with my mom and my sister and her family on the Saturday, and then we have Sunday. So I have 2 meals in a row that are gonna be challenging, 2 days in a row. How do I mitigate that? And then the following week, it's my wife and I's 21st wedding anniversary. We're going into Boston to a really nice steakhouse. We're having a nice dinner, which I'm looking forward to. And then we're going to go see a play. We're going to go see a musical in Boston, which will be a lot of fun. And then the next night we have dinner with some family and aunt and uncle that we haven't seen in a bit. That was on a regular rotation for us for dinners that we just haven't had a chance to do anything this year so far. So this is our first dinner back with them. We go to an Italian restaurant, right? So, I have in this 13 days until I go to Orlando to see my friends at work, which I'm super excited about. It's been 2 years since we've had a live meeting because of all the COVID stuff. I've got 4 really minefield days that I have to figure out how to navigate. And if my mindset isn't right, if I'm not up early those mornings, getting a really good walk in, if I'm not crushing on the Peloton, if I'm not finding ways to incorporate exercise like I'm going to try to do on Wednesday and ride my e-bike to work because I'm going to a location that's only 17 miles away. I got 40 miles of range on my e-bike. So we'll ride the bike there. We'll ride the bike home. But just finding more and more ways to incorporate all this stuff in my mindset. This morning I woke up and I tracked everything I'm going to eat today. I know exactly what I have for points. I have 1 point left for Weight Watchers. So that means after I have my breakfast, my lunch, my dinner, I'd have 1 point left, and I have 1 snack I put in there already, right? So literally everything I'm going to have, I can have one more thing that I can add that point into, because I'll add in some extra points today with activity. So that's the reality of where I am, right? That's the journey. I would just ask that all of you slow down, put your emphasis on those 4 things we just talked about, and let's just all get back after this together. But if you need this video, save this video in your feed. And when you start to struggle, you start to see the weight come back, I would just ask that you go back and watch this one again. This one's going to be really important because this is literally what all of us struggle with. So with that being said, thank you for checking us out. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Understand I'm a real person just like you are. My journey's a struggle just like yours is, and I want to help wherever I can. So if I can, throw something in the comments down below, and we'll talk to everybody really soon.